Hey, what's up? I'm Ryan and this is the next Blender tutorial. So if you've been following along, we have been doing some cool stuff with materials, and we modeled this glass. We created a cool glass shader. As you can see, this is a cycles render right here, and we even grouped this cool awesome glass material right here that is pretty realistic. So what we're going to do next is not select our glass or go into edit mode for that matter. Alright, the next thing that we will be doing is we are going to add what's called Caustics. Alright, now what is Caustics? My goodness, look at that usage since I started recording. So what is Caustics? Alright, Caustics is when you've got a glass and you've got light shining through the glass, you know, the light rays actually slicing through the water or the glass or the liquid. You get these highlights over here like this in a specific pattern. All right, it's even in the pool. Yep, it's what makes it's what creates what's called photorealistic, as you can see over here. So now I know what you're going to say. Well, actually I don't know what you're going to say, but you could easily say, but Ryan, when you go into the render options over here, there is these guys over here, right? The Caustics right over here. Pretty cool. So why don't we just click on that? Well, the reason being is you'll find that especially if you're using cycles, that they are quite noisy. So what I'm offering to you right now is knowledge and how you can create your own Caustics that is cool. So like I said, you need to have followed through with my other tutorials to understand exactly what I'm doing here, but you know, not necessarily if you know what you're doing. Right, so let's get cracking. I'm going to add a whole lot of nodes in and I'm going to give them settings, and I'm going to leave my live preview render over here. I'm going to take the denoiser off because what happens is that denoising actually kills a lot of the detail in the beginning. Alright, and yes, I understand it's very pixelated here, but trust me, it's even worse. So that as we follow along, see how blurry it is, and you basically only see the Caustics towards the end. Yeah, we don't want to do that. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to switch off my denoising on my viewport, and yeah, as we go along, you can actually see what each option is doing. So the first thing we're going to do is that we're going to be using data from this guy called a light path, and you can see this light path has a whole lot of options here that's coming, the data that's coming out of here, and that's enabled us to do what we're doing with specific data, which will be called our shadow ray, and we'll be using our ray length. Alright, so I want to add that in here. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add in a mix shader. Alright, just slice it in over there. Okay, very nice. I'm going to connect in my, and you can see already over here what it's doing. I'm going to use my shadow ray, right? Because at the end of the day, your Caustics falls on the surface that my light is coming through. Let me just quickly show you what my light setup is over here. I've got this very strong key light over here, and I've got a rim light at the back there. Alright, you can see my settings over here. You can just hit pause and check out my settings, and as well as my rim light, my backlight over there, which means that you should have this light over here cutting through the liquid in the glass, and you should see some cool stuff in the front here. Alright, let's go back. And so yes, so to this glass material over here. Right, let's play. Yes, those shadows over there, which is created from the lights, from strong light behind and my key lights on the side, we're going to be using that over there. So right, let's start with my shadow ray, and I'm plugging that into my mix shader, Shift A, and by the way, your mix shader you can find. Yes, it's over here, mix shader. I just hit search because yes, it's a lot faster. Alright, so here we go, mix shader. I'm going to plug that into your factor. Now remember, your factor is basically how much of whatever you plug in here and how much you plug in here, that's the factor. Right now it's sitting at half between, so alright. My next thing that I'm going to be adding in here is my transparent. And let me show you what it does. So I'm going to plug that in there, and you can see my shadows are half and off. They're a bit lighter. Why? Because it's mixing between the two. If I go completely this way, it's adding the glass shadow. If I go completely this way, yep, there's nothing at all. Alright, so, but what I want to do is I want to see that factor based off my shadow ray. So the minute I plug that in there, you will actually see my glass is there, but no shadows at all because I've got a transparent shading here. Right, so what we're going to do with that then is I'm going to add in a math node, and I will be adding in a mix RGB, which is under your shader as well. Mix RGB. I'm going to plug that in there. As soon as I plug that in, you're going to see my shadows are going to come back. Alright, and then what I'm going to do with that is I will be plugging in. Now, we've worked with our wavelength node before, and what that is it's color has a specific wavelength, right? That's how colors work. And so you're actually able to, so if I plug this in here, you'll see my shadows are green. If I go to 780, I think it's a bit more of a bluish there. So I'm adding my wavelength in. By the way, this factor over here, let's make it just about 4 to 4.25. Yes, alright. I'm just plugging in the settings that I've used. And now into my wavelength, what I want to do is I want to get my wavelength of my my ray length. Okay, so let's plug in my ray length straight into there. Okay, and but now what I actually want to do is I want to actually give it a value. So let's plug in a let me just yes, so this is where I plug in my math node. Boom. I'm going to set it to multiply, and of course what you want to do with that then is we're going to put that 780 in here. So what it's doing is it's multiplying whatever the value is, whatever my ray length is, it's multiplying it by 780 and it's putting it out. Now you can already see how we're getting a bit of a rainbow over there. That's what we're creating with this. Pretty awesome, right? Let me push up this color right up to white. You'll see what a difference that makes. Lightens it up again. Why? Because we're mixing the two together. Okay, now on this side what we're going to be doing is I am going to be doing some maths. I'm going to be getting information off here. Yes, I'm going to take this already, my math node over here. I'm going to hit Shift D. I'm going to multiply it. I'm going to plug my ray length. So what I've done right now is I can take that data and I can plug it in as many times as I want to elsewhere. But this one I'm going to make a divide, okay? Because let's put it. I don't think it makes a difference, but yes, right into there, and I'm probably just going to put this with 1. So I'm dividing whatever value is coming in by 1, and let me just plug that in here. Let me show you what it's doing. Okay, now you can see what it's done is it's taken that value and you can see how hot it's made it. It's actually greatly increased it. So let's Shift D, divide this in again, and I'm going to take that value and I'm actually going to multiply it. Now you'll see already when I plug this in, boom, you can already see how we're getting the light that is coming in, how it's actually putting it right in the right place. You're getting those highlights, those are the Caustics. Obviously I've got my key lights coming through here, and you know, like with a magnifying glass where you get that focus of light. on one spot. Alright, so this glass is about to burn right through this table. So this, you get this clamp value over here, and what that does is, see, light, if you think of information, light, your white, and I've spoken about this before, the color white, it's a 1, and your color black is a 0. And if it goes over those values, that's how programs see colors, or sees, basically work, programs with ones and zeros, they see numbers, not names or anything like that. And so right now this value, when it does this, is way over 1. And what's nice is when you start working with your math nodes, if what you're doing is pushing it way over and what's called is clipping the value, then you've got this clamp option here which now brings it down. But you can see it almost gets rid of that value. You can see that there's a bit of color still here which we are wanting. So alright, I'm going to Shift D, and I'm going to do this one more time over here, and I'm going to take the clamp off. I'm going to take this value 3.1. okay, and that now is basically how we get a nice Caustics. Now you can't see it that nicely because of the fact that the rendering is still going, right? So that thing that I said I wasn't going to do, I'm going to put it on now in my viewport. We're going to give it a bit of time, not too long, and you're going to see that focus of light, the Caustics that we were talking about, which happens often with glass and with liquid. Alright, deselect my glass. I'm still sitting with my material here. I'm going to hit Control or Command S just to save. All this is happening. So now if I have to do this, so what we've basically done here is we've taken information over here and we've run it through a series of mixed nodes, multipliers, some maths, some wavelengths, blah 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 blah, and it's given us that nice natural Caustics over there. You can see the color, you can see that focus of light over there. And what's nice about this is because I've worked with data within the scene, if I change my lighting, it's going to adjust as well. If I brighten this key light, you're going to see more light. You can even see over here how there's that lighting over there, but because the surface is a lot lighter, you don't see it, but it looks a lot more natural. Okay, if I have to compare it, so let's take it out here and let me bypass what we've just done. You can see how bland it looks. You can tell that there's something missing or there's something not right. But then let's plug it back in here, and you're going to get just connect that guy. You're going to get the Caustic. So we've got a lot of our natural elements that creates a realistic, the reflection, all of that. But there's one more thing that I just want to add in here, and that is this mix over here. Because right now it's sitting with a factor, and we want it to be like automated according to, and so if you remember, I was working with the Fresnel node right over here, which is your, if you don't know what Fresnel is, go check out my tutorial on that. I explain it, otherwise just go Google it. I think I'm going to plug that into this factor right over here, and I'm going to allow that to be the factor. And you can see already, there you go, we've got our focus, that sharp light over there. That's looking a lot better. Like I said, and our colors over here, it's a lot more natural. For me, this is way better, a lot more natural. Look at that, look how cool that looks over there. And so there is a cool recipe, we need to save it again, towards creating my glass shader. And as I've showed you before, so I'm going to hit tab to go out of my group over here. Even if I add in another object within my scene, okay? Should we try a cube? Let's see what a cube looks like. Grab Z, grab, I'm gonna just place it nicely over here.
It's 12 hours.
Yes, it is 12 hours. Do this, grab Z, put it, okay, let's say, yeah, let's put it about over there. Now even if I do this over here, I don't need to redo this group over here. My group is already there with the work that I've just done. And I can simply just do that by adding a new material, get rid of the principal shader because this guy is already within my group, and I can go Shift A, go down to group, and there you go, awesome glass shader, plug it in there, plug this guy into the surface there, In fact, let me just show you quickly. Let's do this. I'm going to go into the live render preview. Right, it's got no shader in. Well, it does, but it's nothing right now. Look at that. Nothing can cause shadows. Anyway, so Shift A, back to my group, add in that awesome glass shader, which is the whole group over here, and I can plug that into there, and Bob becomes your uncle. Look at that. Look at that red over there. How nice. How natural. Very cool. Alright guys, we've got one more tutorial on this glass that will be next, where we're going to wrap up this glass, and then we'll be looking into other things as well. Pretty cool, as we are busy with this tutorial series on shaders. And yes, so see you guys in the next video. Hope this has blessed you as much as it has blessed me. And please guys, don't forget, I would really appreciate it if you guys subscribe to Active TV, and as well as give us a like, or give us flames, or give us yes, the plus sign if you're watching off Rumble. And because you do like this video and you like what I've just shown you, haven't you? I mean, look at that. How nice is that? See you guys then. Cheerio.